What's up everyone, welcome back. The Incursion Challenge League's Flashback Race event will be starting very soon, which means that my time with this character is unfortunately up. I need to take a break for at least a couple of days before the race starts. I will be playing the event. I have an absolute blast playing these things now, and the chance to win free microtransactions is just great, especially because they're so damn expensive. So, as much as I would absolutely love to continue on more, level up higher, get Elder and his Guardians out here for you, things like that, because this character has been a lot of fun. Especially when, you find echoing shrines and stuff like that. But by the time this video is uploaded, I'm sure registration for the event will begin in about a day. The race itself will begin this Saturday, August 4th, so even if we are getting lucky enough to find an echoing shrine and there are no doors, or he's not inside of his own instanced area where it'll take the shrine off, we're getting lucky enough to get all the way to the boss and kill him with the shrine like that. Such a great character. Sadly, this is as far as we go. Don't be too sad though, this character is only one level higher than the Templar that I did, the Cyclone Volatile Dead character, and this one has already been through Uber Lab, which I did not have the camera on for. Fuck. I'm sorry guys. So this is Merciless Lab here, but we got through Uber Lab with 5,700 life, which is a little bit lower than I'm used to, so it was a bit of a fight, but the important thing is I guess we got through there. I've been using Infernal Blow for clearing and for ads, but Molten Strike because I just personally like it for my single target skill. The best thing about this is you can use any single target you want in the setup. Alright, one level above the Templar puts us at 86. Again, I wish I could go further. Oh well, let's just get into it. We'll get these out of the way first. 2 life flasks, 1 poison, 1 bleed removal, 1 with instant recovery so that when your evasion does miss and you take a massive hit to the face, you'll be alright. I always try to have at least 2 damage dealing offensive flasks with just fill in whatever mods I feel like the build needs at the time. Same with the last one, a defensive flask this way for extra physical damage reduction and whatever mod you may need. A good example would be freeze removal. We are immune to freezing when we are phasing, as we'll see from our ascendancy later, but we're not always phasing. You don't want to be frozen by the very first group of monsters in a map, so on the flask would be good. We're getting into gear. It's a very simple setup, and why I said you can use any single target skill you want, but what I meant was any one of them that works well with a physical to elemental damage conversion type of setup, because that's all this is just physical converted to an element, in my case, fire. So you could use whatever you want for single target. And again, why the gear is really easy to set up, you just look for physical damage, elemental damage with attack skills, one-handed melee physical damage, stuff like that. Physical damage will give you a huge base damage boost, so that's really good. Attack speed, dexterity, strength, increased area of effect if you want Infernal Blow to be a little bit wider. I wouldn't waste points on it, but things like that will be good. I'm doing a crit build, and why I have this on my head for the increased global crit chance, and why we are using this thing again for the increased crit chance, the plus to crit multiplier per green socket. I only have 1, so it's only plus to 10, oh well. And then at the bottom's like 70 something, I can't really see it right now, sorry. Increased global crit chance, so that's huge for a crit build. Again, the Belly of the Beast is just for life and resistances. As always, get your resistances maxed, make sure you have enough life, and then go from there. This thing, I've never used it before. It looked great on paper because I noticed that I was igniting enemies an awful lot with Infernal Blow. So as you can see from the effects it gives from igniting and against burning and igniting enemies, it sounded like it would be pretty good. And at the time that I got it, and with the gear I had at the time, it was actually doing more damage than dual wielding the Gladius. Getting into it, it's my usual setup: cast on damage taken, Immortal Call, increased duration. Ancestral War Chief with melee physical damage, increased duration, and faster attacks. I love that guy. That's our single target skill. We won't get into that just yet, and I got tired of Poacher's Mark, and since we don't need it for getting frenzy charges, because we get that from our ascendancy, we'll run Assassin's Mark this time for the increased crit chance and making enemies more susceptible to it. I'm using a Warcry, not so much for the mana regen, because raiders already have it, but for the increased damage that it gives. And our fire damage, our Herald of Ash. That's where all our fire is coming from. Our movement skill is Leap Slam, because it's just so good. Faster attacks, Fortify support, extra physical damage reduction. Alright, and we'll get into, here's our single target. I've been switching it, but we'll get into that later. I like Molten Strike personally, so that's what I'm using with melee physical, or multi-strike, melee physical, added fire. When I get to the really tough bosses though, I've been switching it to the chest piece, which I currently have as a 5-link setup so I can get more damage and get through the boss. But for mapping and where I'm at right now, it's just Infernal Blow is a lot of fun. The pop that it gives is so much more satisfying from the pops from like the duelist's bleeding and whatnot, and you know, you guys can read, so you go over that. But so a lot of fun. And here just the extra jewels or the skill gems that I had that I was leveling up that I was using. When I switched it out, I was putting elemental damage support in with Molten Strike to get it up pretty high. It's right there, or yeah, right there. Sorry, like I said, hard to see, but I got them all plus 20. We're just trying to level it up now, but again, ran out of time. That sucks. Oh well. And you may have noticed there was melee splash support in my the weapon swapped slots or whatever, getting leveled up there. That helped out a lot at the lower levels until Ancestral Call started to feel a lot better, which is now currently equipped with Infernal Blow in my setup. I was leveling it up on my other weapons because I was thinking about maybe using it later in the build. However, after Path of Building, maybe not so much. You also may have noticed the life is on the gear is a little bit low. One of the rings, for example, only has plus 31. Well, if I throw on a ring with plus 60 something right now, double that, I go up to 6 grand life, and that's only one piece. I have quite a few pieces that need more life on the gear, so just hopefully you find some good gear and you will be really good to go. Razor of the Seventh Sun, the unique sword that I'm using. The recover 1% of maximum life when you ignite an enemy sounded huge when you ignite an entire pack. However, you only leech that life once per every ignite duration. And then, for example, when you're at a boss, you will only leech that life when you ignite him. And then you have to wait until your ignite duration wears off. So that's a downfall. Something to keep in mind. Maybe another reason to just dual wield the Gladius after all. When you do that, you'll pick up an 8% additional chance to block while dual wielding with that weapon, so maybe that, I don't know, something to keep in mind. Moving right along into Path of Building. Okay, we are a Ranger, obviously. We took Raider for our Ascendancy. And if we look over here for Bandit choice, it is Alira because I personally wanted to do a crit build. You don't have to, but that was just my choice. Our Ascendancy, the Raider. Alright, the first lab, after first lab, I went way of the Poacher, so I don't have to use Poacher's Mark, the Curse, and this is where we sustain our Frenzy charges with just our Ascendancy. Then I came up here for a chance to dodge attacks, phasing while at maximum Frenzy charges. I personally fell in love with phasing in the Abyss League. Anyone who played that league would understand why. Then I came up here for a little bit of increased damage, but mostly because of the immune to elemental elements while phasing. It was a huge, I guess, defensive help to get us leveled up. After Uber Lab, the 7th Frenzy charge, and then all that movement and attack speed and damage was just the bonus for getting through Uber Lab. Because that was, like I said, going through there at 5,700 life with this character, it was a bit of a fight, just a little bit. I had to dodge a lot. I really wish I would have recorded it. Anyways, so this is our tree. Now, for anybody who's looking at this, who wants to play Path of Exile, for anyone who has downloaded the game, opened it up, and you looked at the skill tree and went, hell no, I'm out of here. Don't be afraid. It really is just the illusion of choice. I have literally done this same exact skill tree in like 3 or 4 different builds, and we'll probably do it again in the next Raider that I do during the race event. So here's our tree, and like I said earlier, it's just physical to elemental conversion. So you get your resistances up first, and then you start going all around the tree. I came down this way for life. Life, life, life there. Up here, this is evasion and life. Life, life, you know, all the way down here. More life, life at the bottom here. All the way up for the huge chunk of nodes, which helps throw you up to 207% from the tree. So as I said earlier, just get some better gear than me. Hopefully you're luckier than I am and you're good. Then you want physical damage so that it can be converted to elemental. So elemental damage with attack skills. stuff like that. You're going to want, I wanted or needed intelligence so I could run my blasphemy and run the curse and not have to worry about it, because I just like putting it on an aura and just, it's like set and forget mode. Physical damage with swords, because I'm running swords. The claw nodes are right up here, I guess. I don't know, can you use? Never mind. We won't even go there. So swords, got all the sword nodes. I came down this way because of the extra sword nodes all down here and the life leech. But there's also lava lash down here, which is the biggest DPS boost on the tree I could get right now. I came up this way. I love coming up this way for berserking. This is usually one of the biggest DPS clusters of nodes for me, but not this time, so we probably won't even get it, and we'll get into all that in a minute. So this is my little tree for, excuse me, for being at level 86, and it's in Path of Building. We're going to do some stuff here, and then I will save it. I will put the link in the description. We got the configuration all set up for 3 power charges, 7 frenzy, onslaught, fortify. We have, yeah, onslaught, sorry. We have ignited an enemy. Is the enemy ignited? Yes, blah, blah, blah. You know, all that crap from Infernal Blow, which also means I have Infernal Blow set up as the 6th link with elemental damage as the 6th. It's up to you what you really want to do. Combustion will supposedly do quite a bit. I don't know why it's... Yeah, whatever. You play with it. You sort your gems by DPS and then get it all out for yourself. So that's, what? 81,000 total DPS with your 6th link at level 86. Like I said, we are a crit build, so there's crit nodes here. How much is that? 6,200 DPS. There's crit nodes here. 8,800 DPS. There's elemental damage here, and it penetrates their resistances. Oh, geez, that's about almost 8,000 DPS, but lava lash, you come down here, that's about 10 grand right there. So we'll just start doing my normal thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mark it up for 4 points. Come on, if it'll click. 92 grand. All right. So what's the next highest? That's like 7 grand. And you can play with it yourself too. This is up to 10 grand now. That's 6 grand. So we'll do the crit next. 1, 2, 3 for the crit. Where's our life at? 61 with that crap gear we have on. Over, 100 grand. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more points. 3. Come on, click it. 3 there. 3 for the crit, maybe. I get this is just right off the top of my head. And you're over 100 grand with Infernal Blow. And that's just for mapping and doing whatever. I mean, Infernal Blow is okay for bosses. It's not horrible, but there are a lot better single target skills that you could easily throw on, as I will demonstrate. Okay, so that was just using Infernal Blow. And like I said, I've been switching out Molten Strike for bosses and everything. So we got the same tree here. We're up to 250k now, because I have switched out Infernal Blow for my personal single target skill, which is Molten Strike, and 6 linked it. This is with Elemental Focus. The other one that it was showing top DPS for was Combustion. I don't know if I like that one. Either way, they both have their downfalls in my personal opinion, but they both do 249. So if I was to do Elder or Shaper or something along that nature, I would swap it out into Molten Strike. We would use Molten Strike for the boss fight, and you're up to 250. I will set this back up for Infernal Blow. That's what the character is supposed to be for, and that's what I use for clearing. Again, you can use it for bosses. If you're good at dodging the mechanics and everything, you'll be alright. It'll take a little bit longer, but still okay. And then I will save it, and of course I will put a link for the path of building here for Infernal Blow, blah blah blah. I'll put it in the description and yada yada yada. I damn near forgot it again. For those of you who were wondering what in the hell is that fire meteor thing that's just dropping out of the sky and pummeling enemies, that would be the enchantment on my gloves, Trigger Etiquette of Inferno on kill. It is my personal favorite glove enchantment, with Etiquette of Reflection coming in second. If you can get either one of those, awesome. So yeah, and I hope to find gear with higher life rolls than I did, and more gear with physical damage, fire damage, crit chance, and crit multi, and then rock and roll. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Help the channel grow, and if you are playing in this league's flashback race event, then good luck. Good racing, but most of all, have fun, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.